Welcome to the Find Your Voice, Change Your Life podcast with psychologist Dr. Doreen Downing. Listen in as Doreen interviews people who felt they didn't have a voice or who suffered extreme speaking anxiety. You'll hear stories about how they struggled to speak up, what they did to find their authentic voice, and the confidence they now feel to speak up and make an impact. If you want to get started right away to find your voice, download Doreen's free 7-step guide to fearless speaking at doreen7steps.com. And now, here is Doreen.
Hi, this is Dr. Doreen Downing, and I am here today with the Find Your Voice, Change Your Life podcast. And before I introduce my guest today, I'd like to thank everyone who's been going to Apple Podcasts and rating the show, giving it fantastic reviews. And I have to say, personally, I appreciate everyone saying how empathic I am and how they feel that my interview style is something that brings out the best in my guests. So thank you, everyone. Rate and review on Apple Podcasts. And for today's show, I get to interview Matt Travis, and I'll say a few things about him first. He's a Rapid Transformation Hypnotherapist, and we can learn more about what that means later. But he also has a Master of Health, a certified functional strength coach. He's a precision nutrition pro coach, a certified Wildfit coach. And some of these initials I don't quite understand, but he'll tell us about them. FMS Certified, but this is easy. And a nonstop lifelong learner. Yes, he runs a company called The Potential You, and that's a potential dash the letter U. He runs his company called The Potential You to help women and mom entrepreneurs transform their subconscious mind, health, and business habits to ensure sustainable growth. Without burnout. That sounds so valuable. And I look, usually by the end of the show, we get back to what you do and how you do it and what people can do to find you. But I always like to start with, since this show is about having lost your voice or feeling like you never had it in the beginning, and then how you found it. However you want to start your story, it would be great. So I'll just give you the platform, Matt. Hello.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be on your podcast, and you're just doing such amazing things in this world. So I really appreciate you allowing me to come on and talk to your audience. So my name's Matt Travis, and I feel like this all started at the very beginning for me when I was, a younger child. In elementary school, I had just a lot of learning disabilities. And when you're consistently pulled out of class and you feel like there's something wrong with you, like there's something different, right? I just had all these tests done and things like that for my learning disabilities. And I just never really understood why I was different, right? Like I couldn't understand that, but it definitely affected my self-esteem and believing like I was enough in all of these areas. And I had to become like an overachiever in a sense, in a lot of these areas so that I could feel like I was enough. So that it definitely was the start and the beginning that really massively impacted my comfort level and my ability to speak my truth and get in front of people and really find my voice and really what I wanted to do. So I didn't later, until I got into the hypnotherapy world and I started to understand that and really had access to that myself. I didn't realize for a very long time, I thought my brain was broken. And I didn't really verbalize that until I was able to access it at a subconscious level. I didn't really know that was something that I internally believed about my brain. And of course, that was probably the main underlying thing for most of my life that really stopped me from really speaking my truth, especially in my earlier days. But as I continued on and, I went through college and I did health and physical education and all that stuff, I started to realize part of my voice was through the physical and learning how to move well and teach others how to move well. And that's really what the FMS stands for, functional movement screen. So it's really like I fell in love with helping people move better and then move often, and really just find the joy and the love of moving and get out of pain. Um, and what I also realized during that time was a lot of people would get results and then they wouldn't keep them. And I'm like, and that would discourage me as a coach, and really any coach, right? Your job is to help people get results. And you're like, how come these people are getting results, but they're not keeping them? So that was another thing that I, kind of took on myself internally. And I was like, I need to figure this out. I need to figure out, like, why do some people get results and keep them? And why do a lot of people, most people don't? So that's what led me to the nutrition world and getting all of those certifications. I was like, that's got to be the thing. And I was wrong, because that doesn't, that actually just makes it even harder for people. But then I started to get into the mindset world, and then more importantly, the subconscious, and really understanding and learning what stops us from actually finding our voice, what stops us from speaking our truth, what stops us from taking action and getting results and actually keeping those results over the long term. And when I found that, I feel like I really, truly, I found my voice in that, because I started to realize, wow, I actually have a really powerful key that can help people break through anything that they want, but more importantly, just feel more confident in themselves. And that can lead them to, of course, finding their voice as well, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness, what a story. Usually I have you stop and just stay with that early life experience, but just the whole movement from having been a young boy to this discovery of the deeper reasons why something gets lodged in our unconscious, our subconscious, and stays for so long throughout life. And I'm so glad you're here today, because people need to wake up that it's not just about learning how to give a better speech, or hey, you can be confident and just push, do the fear, or whatever it is, do whatever
Feel
you're
the
gonna
fear and do it anyways. Yeah, totally.
feel the fear.
Yeah.
It is doing the fear,
Yeah.
but it's not. I'm again really happy that I get to talk to you, because my whole background is psychology and the underlying patterns that get developed really, really early. So I would like to go back to that, though,
Oh, absolutely.
because what you said, oh my goodness, and you didn't even know at a young age that you were making a tape inside of your brain that my brain is broken.
Yep.
And I have interviewed several people on this podcast who have had learning challenges, I guess they call them disabilities,
Yeah.
but let's just say challenges, because in some ways, those challenges are still part of you that may be able to help you be totally different than anybody else. And it's like we make it
Totally
less
agree.
than rather than
Yeah.
something that has a unique characteristic, a unique quality. So I guess that's what I'd like to just think back and see if you have anything to offer about how did that, even though you were comparing yourself to others and kind of wondering what the heck is this all about and why me, did you ever, or now that you look back, do you see that it provided you with a unique point of view, unique opportunities?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think of my ADHD sometimes as my superpower, because, uh, you know, I'm able, the thing with me is I focus on everything. So I have learned over this period of time how to, I don't even want to use the word cope. I think more just utilize my strengths and improve on my weaknesses, um, and really step into, like, the things that make me unique and the things that I can actually help others with. Because, I mean, like you said, so many other people struggle with these learning disabilities and learning challenges. And, we're all on some kind of spectrum of learning, right? Like we all learn differently as well. And we all have different experiences and perceptions and interpretations of what that is. So I feel like in the early days, I definitely felt self-conscious about having to be pulled out and having to get tested and all of these things and being in learning center and all of that stuff. And yet I also feel like it pushed me, like it lit a fire. There was a drive behind it. I remember my high school counselor told me, he was like, your SAT scores aren't great. I think you'd probably be lucky to get into college. And it's not a great thing to tell a kid, but I was like, you can't tell me what I can and can't do. And so
great.
basically, so I ended up getting into college, and I went to college, and ironically, the person there as well was like, you'd be there. We take 16 out of the 100 people in the health and physical education department. So you'd be lucky to get into the program. And I'm like, you can't tell me what I can and cannot do. And then even at the end of it, they were like, you'd be lucky to get a job out of school, because, it's kind of tricky. I was coming out in between 2006, 2007, 2008, like those were the time periods when I was coming out. And, I ended up getting a teaching job right out of the gate. And it really helped me visualize one of the most profound lessons in my life, which was, you should never accept a diagnosis that doesn't empower you. And that really stuck with me in a massive way, because there's lots of people.
One more time, please. Say it one more time. That is powerful. I love it.
Yeah, you should never accept a diagnosis that doesn't empower you. A lot of times we are told what we can't do, or what's not for us, or, there's a lot of people that put their stuff on you, right? Their perceptions and interpretations of what you can and can't do. And if you buy that as truth, right? If you take it as truth, whether it's a actual diagnosis of something like ADHD or something like that, or anything in life, if you accept it as truth, then it will be a truth. But you get to decide, right? It's mostly interpretations, folks. So I realized, you know what? I'm never going to be the victim. I'm never going to let somebody tell me what I can't do.
Fabulous. This is so inspirational, I'm sure, for people who are listening. And so you do coaching. Is that what you do? Tell us more about what you're currently, how you're using your voice now currently.
Yeah. So like I said, I got into the fitness world, and I ended up opening up a fitness facility, and I ran that for 6 years. But I really felt like there was something more. I was looking for the thing that lit me up, my voice, right? So I fell in love with nutrition and fitness and all those things, but I really fell in love with helping people shift these, internal beliefs, the identity, the beliefs, the values, the patterns, the habits, all of this internal stuff that actually allows us to shift and get our results that we want. And most importantly, keep them, because what's the point of getting them if you can't keep them, right? So I decided, when I was running my fitness facility, I had a lot of moms in there, and I just fell in love with helping mom get healthy and happy. There's something unique about, I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of moms, and I feel like they're like the linchpin of the family. When, and they tell you this when you get married too, they're like, happy wife, happy life. That's what they told me when I was on my honeymoon on the island. They're like, happy wife, happy life, man. And I think that's one of the most true statements. I took that belief as true. And it is served me very well, because when mom's healthy and happy, there's just a ripple effect throughout the rest of the family. There really is. And there's just something, there's something that lights me up about helping moms. And so that's kind of like what I stepped into. And then I just started to realize, I can help moms get healthy and happy. And I've also just learned how to build, a 6-figure plus business. And I was like, why wouldn't I help, mom entrepreneurs as well, and help them really step into like what it takes at a subconscious level to actually build this and make it work for them in an authentic way, rather than So my thing is helping align your mind with the life plan you design. So it's helping them put those pieces together, because a lot of times people pick a plan, right? So they pick a diet, they pick an exercise plan, or they pick a business strategy, and they start trying to do it. And then they stop. Why? Well, their mind was not aligned with that plan. It wasn't set up. So we need to create the plan that's right for you and get your mind, both conscious and subconscious, on board. You put those together, wrap it in a bow, you have a really massively, massively powerful transformational tool.
What a great visual. Can you say that one again? Get your mind.
Yeah. So aligning your mind with the life plan you design.
That's it.
So I started to realize it's really about it's all about getting your mind on board with the plan that you've either chosen or you've designed yourself. I recommend people design their own plan. Like, I'm not a fan of diets, like, because the diet is not specific to you. Like, it doesn't work, right? Same with exercise programs. And I mean, just being an entrepreneur for 12 years, like I've watched so many people like searching for that strategy, right? The magic bullet, like, this is the thing that's going to get me clients. This is the thing that's going to build my business. And I'm like, well, it's really, you have to choose the thing you're going to do and be consistent with, right? You're going to be persistent and consistent with this particular way of connecting with people. And for me, I've fallen in love with speaking. Like, it's my favorite way to connect with people, because you get to really get on a level with people, and you can tell stories and you can help them make those shifts they want to make.
Well, you're definitely, and I'm sure that people can hear the resonance in your voice and the joy in your voice, but I get to also look at you, and this video is going to be on YouTube, so people get to see your warmth and your smile, and how just being in your presence can help people, I'm sure. So if there's something more you want to say about your experience, if not, then I'd love to have some way that people can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last thing I'll leave you with is just like, what you're doing here with helping people find their voice. I mean, this is everything. What you're doing it's everything. It's like, I find so many people come to me for whether it's weight loss or business or whatever, but it's really the feeling and thing that they're trying to have, right? The experience they're trying to have. So when you're out there, folks, and you're like, I want to lose weight, or I want to do this, or ask yourself, what is the thing that you actually are, what is the feeling you're trying to have? What's the experience that you're trying to have? Because it's usually, you just want to feel more confident and happy, and you want to be living in your authentic truth. Like, you want to be doing what you're on this planet for, right? Living in your dharma. And when you find that, never stop, keep going. Because when you find that, you'll find your voice. Like, it's hiding right in there, right in that space. And I just love that you're bringing so many people on to share their stories, so that people may find a piece to that truth within these stories that you have people share. So I absolutely love that. And I'm super grateful to be here. And if you feel like, folks, that you want to have a conversation with me and want to chat, you can connect with me on any of the social media at The Potential You, and it's the potential dash the letter U. And you can always connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook as well, Matt Travis. And you can go to www.thepotentialu.com and you can jump on a breakthrough transformation session and see what you need to be doing in order to shift that and step into your power.
Breakthrough transformation. I think that just listening to you, people get a sense that it is possible just by listening to you. So why not get closer to you and put their full body and unconscious mind with you? And liberation, I think, is what I felt, when you were talking about when people find their voice, it's freedom. And in just being with you today and watching you, I think that's what you inspire, is people waking up and being free to be who they are.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. All right, Matt. Yeah, it's a wrap. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today for this episode of Find Your Voice, Change Your Life. Each person during interviews shares what has helped them find their voice. You can learn from these guests and find your voice so you can be confident to speak up and speak out. And remember to download Doreen's free 7-step guide to fearless speaking at doreen7steps.com. We hope you enjoyed the show and will return next time. Until then, goodbye for now.